We've got a Fox News alert for you. A shooting has occurred at YouTube, its California headquarters. The shooter apparently is a woman. Fox's Claudia Cowan is standing by with new information on what happened. Claudia?
Yes, and we just got a press update from the police chief here in San Bruno. Good evening, Tucker. Just a horrific scene here today at the headquarters of YouTube after a shooter opened fire inside the facility during the lunch hour. This incident left 4 victims injured. They are now being treated at local hospitals. Police say they also found a woman they suspect was the shooter dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Officers just announcing that they have completed their intensive search of this massive facility and don't think there are any other suspects or victims. Police say they have recovered a handgun. Now, it's possible this may have been the result of a domestic dispute. Police have not yet confirmed that, but witnesses say they saw a woman take aim at a man who may have been her boyfriend before turning the gun on herself. Now, the names of the suspected shooter and the victims have not yet been released. We understand one man is in critical condition, but it is unclear whether he was the intended target. Tucker, this investigation is just now getting underway, but obviously a very tragic and a very scary day here in San Bruno at YouTube headquarters. Back to you.
Horrifying. Claudia, thank you. Female shooters do exist, but they are much rarer than male shooters. What do we know about the profile of the suspect in this case, who apparently has died? Chad Jenkins is a former FBI special agent, and he joins us tonight. Chad, how often have you seen something like this in the course of your career?
Well, Tucker, it's an anomaly. I mean, typically when you see especially a single active shooter, the overwhelming statistic is that it will be a male. So we did have this San Bernardino terrorist attack. However, that was a husband-wife team. So typically you don't see a female in an active shooter role.
So the suggestion at this hour, and these things are dynamic, and we may know something very different soon, but that this was what police are describing as a domestic incident. What exactly does that mean?
Well, it means most likely workplace violence or some type of a relationship gone awry in which she decided to attack at the workplace. But really, for the viewers at home, we need to really hone in that this can happen anywhere, and we as American citizens need to be prepared for this type of atrocious act to happen and have a mental plan set forth. That's the day in which we live. We cannot rely upon law enforcement or security personnel for our safety, unfortunately.
Well, that's certainly the lesson of recent shootings, for sure. This took place at YouTube, part of Google, one of the biggest companies in the world. How hard would it be to get a firearm into a building like that?
Well, if the individual knew the security protocols already in place, we've already heard that there was security at this facility. Right. But you can't predict the unpreventable or the unpredictable. You can only plan for. So if a person has a will, they'll find a way to conduct this. That's why we need to really stress that individual citizens need to have a plan to go to in these horrific events.
So the initial accounts of what happened in the building suggested that there might have been an ideological or religious motivation. Obviously can't endorse that, don't know if that's true. Do we know any more about that?
At this time, I have not heard a motive being given by the local law enforcement. I'm sure FBI is helping in the investigation, witness interviews, things of that nature, but I have not heard what the motive was behind this perpetrated attack.
Yeah, well, there's a lot we don't know, but we'll continue to follow the story as it develops. Chad, thank you.
Thanks, Tucker.